Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Natalie Drawn. I'm Natalie, and today in this video, I'm going to do my April, I almost said March, my April plan with me for my bullet journal. This month, I did the teapot theme. I really like tea. I drink a lot of tea. I don't drink a lot of hot tea because I live in Arizona and it's already hot here. So I pretty much just drink iced tea. But teapots I think are really pretty, and I wish I lived somewhere colder so that I could drink hot tea. But you know, I do what I can. So I just put hot tea in my bullet journal this month. So I'm drawing everything out in pencil. I like to plan best that way. And so I outline where things go. This first spread, the cover page, I did it really minimally, and then after I stopped filming, I really wasn't happy with how minimal it was, and I went back in and I added more teapots and teacups just to kind of fill in some of that empty space. But for now, in the video, it's just gonna have 4 little teapots that I color. And then I'll end up inking them with my Sakura fine liners. I think the one that I used was the 08 tip. And then I just colored them in with Tombow dual brush pens. I picked pastel colors for this theme because I wanted to keep things really light and airy, I guess would be the word. So enjoy this little phrase here. Come, let us have tea and talk of happy things. Things aren't always happy right now. We're in the middle of that one issue, global. So you know, it's nice to think about happy things instead of focusing on all of the craziness that is around the world right now. So that's why I picked that quote, just a little reminder to focus on the good. This next spread is my calendar page, and just like with the teapots before, I always start with my pencil, but I do pretty much the same layout for my calendar every month. So I start 4 dots down from the top, and I make the boxes 6 dots long and 5 dots wide. And I like the way that always turns out, and it takes up a good amount of space, so that I use that layout quite a lot when I'm creating my calendar spreads. And I start Sunday, Monday, Tuesday instead of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I tend to lay it out that way. Even though my weekly spreads start on Mondays, the calendar starting on a Monday just throws me off, so I keep it pretty traditional. And then I just grid out where some of my lines will stop so that I don't draw too many boxes, but I don't do the whole thing in pencil. I just get the general idea, and then I go in with the fine liners. I don't use a ruler for this part. I could. If you want really straight lines, you can do that. I don't mind the little wobbly, more hand-drawn look, so I just tend to wing it. Sometimes they end up a little more wonky than I would like them to be, but you know, that's part of making things handmade. Up at the top of the calendar, I put another little teapot doodle and a little quote that says, "You're my cup of tea," because cheesiness is getting me through. Also, I just like to put little designs up there. I think it's really fun and it adds to the calendar spread. The next thing that I put on my calendar page is monthly trackers, and I track two things. I track my Instagram and I track my YouTube, and so I just keep those right up front for the month, just so that I always have them in the same spot and keep things simple. And then right below that I put a little square for my events for next month, and normally that would be pretty full of things because May is a little bit busy with the end of the school year down here, but because of the state of affairs in the world, my May is going to look a lot different than originally anticipated. And so I didn't put anything there because I don't know what day things are happening on anymore. Everything's kind of been pushed around and moved, and my sister was supposed to get married at the end of May, but they actually just got married in a small ceremony last Saturday, so that May event is pushed back now so we can celebrate once all of this craziness is over. And the end of our school year just got canceled for the rest of the year. I mean, not canceled, but our school buildings are closed and everyone is working remotely. So yeah, I don't know what the next month is gonna look like at all. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna become of my, that sounds dark and I don't mean it dark. I just mean like, I just don't know. I don't know what the future is gonna hold for us. I don't know what May is gonna look like, and so we'll just have to wait and find out. And that's kind of the beauty of life and the chaos, especially when you're like me and you are a planner. The not knowing is the hardest part. Moving on, I started doing this last month and I really liked it. I used to put my Instagram prompts in my weekly spreads. So for challenges that I would take part of, I would put them at the bottom of the days during the week. And that just kind of got to be a little too much for me, and I had wished that I had a space where I could just write all of the prompts down. I save them on my Instagram profile, but it's like really inconvenient to log back into Instagram and go find the prompt and look through all of the ones that I've saved, and so just writing them down is so much easier for me, and having one spread to write the different prompts on worked out really well last month, and so I'm gonna do that again this month. So that's this spread. You won't see me write any prompts though. This is just the blank space for me to put them, because I would have to go into my Instagram and find all of the prompts, and not all of the prompt lists for challenges that I follow have been released yet, so I can't write all of them because I don't know what the prompts are going to be. But for me as an artist, this spread has been really helpful, so I'm excited to use it again this month. And then on the other page right next to it is going to be the habit trackers. And I also did not fill those in. I just put placeholders for them because I have this love-hate relationship with habit trackers. I will be really good about using them for like the first 2 weeks of the month. And then the last 2 weeks of the month is just like, I have to go back in and find evidence of whether or not I did it, whatever I'm tracking that day. And it's just obnoxious. And so I don't know if it's a spread that I'm going to keep using. I think it's helpful to have a reminder of things that I need to do, but I don't know necessarily if tracking how many days a month I'm doing it is the best way that I work. So if you have any suggestions for how to better keep track of my habits, that would be great, because right now it's a bit of a struggle bus. There is a giant truck that just pulled up outside my window, so I apologize if there's any noise from the truck. It's Enterprise Truck Rental. I wonder if my neighbors are moving. I don't know, it might just be a delivery truck. I don't know, guys. I'm just a nosy neighbor. It happens. Last summer, there was a cat that got stuck in a tree outside my house, and so like I just sat in my art room all day and watched everything. There was like a fire truck and EMTs, and finally it was a landscaping company that came and got the cat out of the palm tree. It was insane. So, you know, I like to watch the world go by. It just looks like the neighbor is getting a delivery. I don't know what it is, but I'm curious. Maybe I'll go find out when I'm done recording. So there are all of the blank habit tracker boxes, and they are shaped like how the month is shaped. That's why they're kind of that funky offset square rectangle deal. So I'll go back in and add stuff, or maybe I won't add stuff this month. I don't know, who knows. But then underneath it, I just put 3 cute little teapots, and then there's that kind of weird blank space afterwards. I could put a quote there. I didn't know what to put there right now. So I just kind of left it blank, open to interpretation. If I'd have been thinking about it sooner, I would have put the teapots down farther on the bottom of the page, but it is what it is, and I like where they are, and maybe I'll go back in and put a little cute tea quote underneath. But for now, just cute little teapots. Okay guys, my sneaky paid off, and I think they're getting a new washer and dryer, in case you were interested. Now you know. Alright, and the final page is going to be my weekly spread. So this weekly spread has evolved for me so much. I used to do like huge days, that 18 spaces long line I just drew is like what one day would have been, and count over 8 spaces. So those 2 squares would have normally been one day. But things have changed so much this year. I keep saying that, but it has. When have we seen this happen before? That I just cut my days in half because I just don't do as much stuff. Even with all the lesson planning that I do at home, and keeping up on emails and talking with coworkers digitally, I brought home my planner. I have a different planner for work, so a lot of that stuff gets written down in there, and so consequently, because I'm physically doing less stuff outside of the house and outside of work, I just don't have as much stuff to keep track of. So here we are with half days. My weekly spreads used to take up 2 pieces of paper, and now it's only 1. So I'll probably put next week's spread right next to it. I also used to keep a meal planner in my weekly spreads, and I just am not good. Like with the habit trackers, I'm really good about it for the first half of the month, and then the last half of the month is just, you know, blank because I stopped filling stuff out. So I just quit writing it. And I don't keep track of my meals in my bullet journal, unfortunately, anymore. So right now you see I have 7 spaces, 1 for each day, and then I will add another space for what to write for what events are happening next week, which right now is nothing. So I'm pretty sure I just left that blank because that's what life is like these days. Anyway, so I just doodled the little teacups, teapots to mark the days. And I'm outlining these ones with a thinner fine liner. I couldn't think of the word. With a thinner fine liner than I did the other ones. This, I think I'm using the 02 instead of the 08. And I really like the way that these ones turned out, and it made me want to go back and redo some of the teapots I drew earlier in the spread. I did end up going back and changing the cover page a little bit, just adding more details. But I left the other teapots like how you've seen me draw them. So in the future, when I do more of the weekly spreads with this theme, I think the teapots will look more like the ones in this spread. So I'm excited about it. I think these ones came out so cute, and they're more like what I had in my head the whole time. I should have used the thinner fine liner, but you live and you learn, and unfortunately you record and you can't go back. So here we are. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys finish this out with music, but enjoy watching me color in these teapots, and thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know what you guys are theming your bullet journals for the month of April. Any suggestions you have for my lack of habit tracking would be great, and I will see you guys in the next video.